This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, the University of Otago held its first proper graduation event over the weekend following the arrest of a person who was threatening public safety. The long-awaited Mosgiel swimming pool is another step closer to becoming a reality. And wet weather couldn't stop festivities during a major event in Invercargill. Tēnā koutou katoa, namhi o te ahiahi nei, kia ora, I'm Simon Anderson. Last week's graduation parades were cancelled due to a threat emailed to the University of Otago. But following the arrest of a 22-year-old woman in Auckland, an alternative event was organised for the weekend.
It was not the University of Otago graduation ceremony that students had been planning for, but about 700 graduands set off on an alternative parade around the university on Saturday.
Yeah, we just did a walk, and it's around the uni this year, which is actually quite cool.
End-of-year graduation parades and ceremonies were cancelled last week following an emailed threat of firearms and explosives. A 22-year-old woman appeared in the Auckland District Court on Friday with charges related to the threat, but her arrest came too late to fully reinstate Saturday's graduation ceremonies. However, most of the students say they actually preferred the more picturesque alternative.
It's actually really nice. Like, a lot of the students have said that it's almost nicer than doing the walk through the street and doing the ceremony. So it's quite special being able to do it here.
The woman charged with the threat was granted interim name suppression and must surrender her passport and stay at her parents' home at all times unless attending a medical appointment. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A grass fire in central Otago has required 2 helicopters equipped with monsoon buckets to douse it. The blaze flared about 2 kilometres from Lowburn at the foot of the Pisa Range in the Cromwell Basin and appears to have spread across about 10 hectares of farmland. 2 buildings in the fire's path were unharmed. The weather was of no assistance, as strong northwest winds only made things worse, and the week's rain was nowhere to be seen. A new pool in Mosgiel will open nearly a decade after a community trust first broached the idea to the Dunedin City Council. Bathers can expect to take their plunge in the $15 million facility from September 2022.
Can they build it? Yes, they can. The contract to build the long-awaited Mosgiel pool has been awarded to Dunedin company Cook Brothers Construction. Dunedin Mayor Aaron Hawkins says it's good to keep it local.
Great, especially in this most challenging of years, to have Cook Brothers on board and to be able to award the contract for the build to a local firm. You can't always guarantee those things, but it is great that we've got local crews here who can deliver a significant recreational asset for the Mosgiel area within the budget that we have.
Design work has started on the project and includes an 8-lane 25-metre long pool, as well as hydrotherapy, toddlers and learn-to-swim pools. Cook Brothers Construction is pleased to have the contract with their partners.
Be able to be chosen along with our partners McCoy and Wixon, both local-based companies, to bring this to the community. We're absolutely thrilled.
City Council Services General Manager Robert West says the joint project between the Council and Tidy Community Facilities Trust was first proposed more than 8 years ago. And Mayor Hawkins says it's time to get it done.
And now it's time to get on with it and do it. And it's great to see the model here, setting out the layout, and looking forward to seeing the detailed design work as it evolves through until ribbon cutting in 2022.
The Mosgiel-based trust behind the project has raised more than $4 million of the $15.5 million construction cost, with the council funding the rest. Building is expected to start in June 2021 and to be completed in September 2022. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A person was injured in a two-car crash in the Dunedin suburb of Kavisham over the weekend. Police say they were called to the two-vehicle crash on Playfair Street at about 1 p.m. on Sunday. Fire and Emergency New Zealand helped to free the injured person from one of the vehicles which had rolled. St John's say the injured person refused treatment. Despite wet weather, festive spirit was on show in Invercargill this weekend. Christmas in the park went ahead with many family happy to get out and celebrate despite the light rain.
Light drizzle did not stop families from gathering around the Queen's Park Band Rotunda for this year's Christmas in the Park in Invercargill. Probably the most sheltered spot was for the live musicians on stage, but many others used umbrellas to ward off the raindrops as they sat on picnic mats and camp chairs to enjoy an afternoon of music, games and celebrations.
It's a great day out for family, and we're just hoping that the showers stay away and people come out in their droves to enjoy this festive start to 2020.
Organiser Blair Savoury says after a challenging year, people were keen to have some family fun at the free event.
Well, if the sun comes out, we might get 2,000. If it stays like this, we might get 1,000. Who knows? It's a free event for families, so if people aren't busy and they're into it, they'll come.
Light showers are forecast for much of the south for every day until after Boxing Day. In Invercargill, the south today.
Still to come on the south today, there are significant changes ahead to a major southern tourist attraction and changes down on the farm too. Ka kite a koe nei.
Here I am in the middle of George Street, corner of Hanover and George. Come and see what I get in here. This is where I go shopping. So look what I can choose from in here. It's fantastic. Knitwear, flash shirts. Look at those flash shirts. Trousers, jeans, pullovers. Oh look, they've got some hoodies. I love hoodies.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
But my friend Lindsay, he says this store's only here till January the 10th, so I better dash. See you later.
For 100 years, Presbyterian support has been helping people in your region through all conditions, ages and stages of life. Our Enliven and Family Work services are always there when you need them. People in your community are facing unprecedented challenges and they need your help. By making a donation to your local Presbyterian support in South Canterbury, Otago or Southland, you'll be helping us to help people where you live. Together we can make a difference. We are people helping people.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
What have you got? Okay. Chicks World, party time, Excellent. Love it. Chicks World. Chicks World.
Hoki mai anō. Clutha District Council's Job Opportunities program is being hailed a success by those behind the initiative. Starting at the beginning of October with a work fair in Balclutha, the program aimed to place 50 job seekers in employment by mid-next year. Following 2 further work fairs, one in Dunedin and one in Queenstown, the program has smashed its target, having placed over 70 people in employment already. The $500,000 program is funded by the Ministry of Social Development and is overseen by the Clutha District Council. Clutha Mayor Brian Cadogan says he's delighted with the result. Preparatory work has begun on Queenstown's multi-million-dollar gondola redevelopment. Skyline Enterprises says COVID-19 has created some unexpected opportunities for the company, as the gondola has operated only part-time for much of the year. Contractors took advantage of the downtime to work on the first of 2 stages of excavation underneath the gondola cableway to create a building platform for a multi-storey car park building. Upon completion, buses and other vehicles will enter underneath the gondola line to circle through into the car park. The existing gondola is set to be replaced with a new 10-seat version. Dairy farmers have received criticism in recent years regarding their environmental impact. One Southland couple has truly taken heed, shifting away from conventional farming practices to a more environmentally friendly approach called regenerative agriculture.
Under increasing pressure from society and government, farmers across the country are moving to less conventional methods to reduce their environmental impact. A year and a half into trying out a new way of farming, Southland dairy farmers Dylan and Cherie Ditchfield are pleased with the new direction they've taken.
So we're now 18 months into it and no regrets whatsoever. It's been a challenge, but we knew that was going to be the case before we took hold. But it's a really good feeling, and I guess it's re-energised my wife and I, Cherie, and our team about farming's actually not a bad place to be.
Called regenerative farming, the couple use a soil consultant to advise on how to restore what they once viewed as being just dirt.
Focusing on our soil and what happens underneath, and so understanding what's happening there and what do we need to do to change that to get the biology going. Because I guess when we first started, I'd probably call the soil dirt. It's kind of dead. Once we got to know and understand how it should look when it's functioning well, there wasn't much life in there at all, but now it's slowly coming.
New Zealand farm pasture is normally just a mix of ryegrass and clover, but the Ditchfield's pasture now has a much richer collection of 9 different plant species. They farm about 450 dairy cows, and after 25 years of conventional grazing, they now employ the services of an expert to show them how to graze in a more environmentally friendly way.
So when we come into a paddock, we're supposed to be eating a third, leaving a third and trampling a third. And the idea with the trampling is to get that longer stuff lying down so that then the biology underneath, like the worms, can come out and pull that back down to take that nutrients back down as, I guess, fertiliser or nutrients for the biology to keep growing and improving.
And they're hoping that adapting these new techniques will see their family farm well into the future.
I guess we're wondering what the outcomes in the future were going to be for farming, and it wasn't looking too flash there for a bit regarding public perception, environment, people. Were we handing a burden on to our kids was probably one of the biggest concerns, but now we feel quite different, even though we're only a small way into our transition.
The Ministry for Primary Industries says it's looking to fund projects that investigate regenerative farming practices. In Southland, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, we continue our look at the year in news, and we have your weather leading into the Christmas. When will Dunedin's cloud cover lift? Hea koko ake nei.
الرحمن الرحيم المهيمن العزيز
New PVC windows and doors. PVC is 9% more efficient than standard aluminium and 60% more efficient than thermally broken aluminium. It's multi-chambered, you don't get any condensation through the frame. And if you put decent glass in, you get a big difference to aluminium.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Welcome to Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have no shortage of stock. Check these out. We've got the Dunedin print t-shirts. Check out our zillions of short sleeve shirts. These are crackers. They iron themselves in the wash. Iron cheater they're called. And there's some really cool polo shirts. Look at all the bright colours. And of course there's no shortage of shorts. This is always one of our brightest corners. Our long sleeve fashion shirts. Jeans, casual trousers, dress trousers, you name it, we have you covered.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So if you're shopping for your family or yourself, come and see Alex Campbell Menswear stores. We're full of stock.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Here I am in the middle of George Street, corner of Hanover and George. Come and see what I get in here. This is where I go shopping. So look what I can choose from in here. It's fantastic. Knitwear, flash shirts. Look at those flash shirts. Trousers, jeans, pullovers. Oh look, they've got some hoodies. I love hoodies.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
But my friend Lindsay, he says this store's only here till January the 10th, so I better dash. See you later.
TV, our favourite babysitter, but it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
Lord, 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 hear it more. Don't you hear Jerusalem moan? Don't you hear Jerusalem moan? Bring the man he used to be back. My armor already cut to the bone. Don't you dare take that country at me.
No mai anō. In the lead up to Christmas, we're taking a look back at our news highlights from the last 12 months. September saw animatronic dinosaurs lunging at visitors to Otago Museum, and also questions concerning the wisdom of spending hundreds of millions of dollars to build an international airport near the rural settlement of Terrace.
Christchurch Airport paid $45 million to buy up farmland in Terrace to build a new international airport. But a former city councillor was sceptical that the owners of Christchurch Airport, which includes Christchurch ratepayers, would support plans to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on building the airport.
Why would they want to be investing in airports other than in Christchurch? Because if I was in Christchurch, I'd be, no way, there's zero benefit for me as a ratepayer putting, $300 million into Terrace.
Dunedin sandwich shop Hungry Hobos was awarded first prize in a national competition for its toastie.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for better being a toasted sandwich restaurant and then winning it.
Called the Bat Out of Hell, the toastie is designed to simulate random midnight snacks from the fridge, including mashed potato, gherkins, gravy and of course meatloaf. Dinosaurs took over the Otago Museum, bellowing and lunging at visitors who dared to come too close. Museum staff had worked hard to assemble the animatronic and static displays in time for the school holidays.
The exhibition has 4 animatronic dinosaurs, which definitely are the draw card. The kids are going to either love them or hate them. They're a bit scary, especially old T-Rex behind me here.
The exhibition, called Dinosaur Revolution, runs until early February, and Dunedin resounded with bells ringing out to mark the return of the first northern royal albatross. The birds have been nesting for over 100 years at Taiaroa Head, their only breeding colony on the mainland. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The University of Otago held its first proper graduation event over the weekend following the arrest of the person who was threatening public safety. The long-awaited Mosgiel swimming pool is another step closer to becoming a reality, with contractors named to build the $15 million complex. And wet weather couldn't stop festivities during a major event in Invercargill. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we have Barry Stewart with us this evening. Kia ora, Barry.
Hello, Simon. Dunedin City Councillor Lee Vandervis has lost his legal battle against the council. Right. We'll have a full report on that in tomorrow's ODT. Mm-hmm. And of course the COVID-19 is well and truly amongst the world, not so much us, thank God. But in Britain it's particularly restrictive. Yeah. There's a whole range of new lockdowns, etc. So we've caught up with former Dunedin opera singer Jonathan Lamalu, and he is still hoping to have a fantastic Christmas at home in London with his family. So just to catch up there to see how he is faring under the new COVID restrictions. So Southland Hospital serves a population about half the size of Dunedin, but the number of people coming into their emergency department is almost the same. So we look at that issue there. And also a fascinating story, a Te Anau family of 5 are cycling the length of New Zealand to spread the word about about what's good in Fiordland, and that's because Fiordland is one of the hardest hit tourism regions in the country. So they're spreading the word there and hoping to attract a lot of people back to Fiordland. And of course we have the final part of our Not Coming Home series tomorrow. Reporter Daisy Hudson looks at the recovery process from a car crash through the eyes of Dunedin medical staff. And of course when accidents occur, we often look at whether it's a fatality or not, and if it's not, we think everything's well and good, but often it's not, and there's lots of rehabilitation and pain amongst that lot, so we have that story.
Great, Barry, thank you.
Thank you.
Time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, nothing to see here, just a dinosaur walking in the mall. Looking at the situation, unstable atmospheric conditions mean showers for much of the island with thunderstorms popping up in places. Still a warm day for many though, I'm afraid more showery weather likely through the week. Looking at the northwest, it's 19 and rain for both Westport and Greymouth. Rain and warm up top 2, 21 degrees for Nelson, 23 for Blenheim. Things lighten a little on the eastern side. Scattered showers for Kaikoura and Christchurch on 20 and 21 degrees. Fairly fine in Ashburton though, just partial cloud on 23. To the southern towns, light winds carry showers for all, and 21 degrees for everyone except the Catlins on 22 degrees. It's much the same in central, light winds and showers across this region. A range in temperatures though, Te Anau on 20, Wanaka and Queenstown on 22 and Alexandra up to 25 degrees. And those light winds and showers reach further north still, with the temperatures climbing, 24 degrees for Twizel or Marama and Oamaru, 26 for Timaru. In Dunedin, the day's rain eases a little tonight with an overnight low of 13. And early morning drizzle should clear completely tomorrow, at which point it should be mostly cloudy, though sunny periods in the afternoon accompanied by northeast winds. A high of 21 and a low of 13. And cloudy on Wednesday with light variable winds. Showers could return later in the day with light rain developing at night. A high of 16 and a low of 12. Presently it looks like we'll get a brief respite of rain on Christmas morning before the rain later on. And in Invercargill, showers clearing tonight here too, and an overnight low of 12 degrees. Mostly fine early tomorrow with light northerly winds, though thundery showers may develop later on. A high of 20 and a low of 13. And things clear up Wednesday with sunny periods and high cloud and light easterly winds. A high of 19 and a low of 11. Those showers look like they'll clear on Christmas Day for you, with a fine afternoon in store. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz or follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.